good morning. Thanks for tuning in to your girl, Keeping It Real with the Deja Show. Alright, so I'd like to say hello to all my kings and queens out there. Hope y'all doing well. Your girl's doing well and feeling blessed. I hope you're doing the same. Okay, so today we're going to take it off with Tucker Carlson. The first topic of the day is the left. Of course, the left is always fucking up. They want to abolish ICE. They want to let illegal citizens be allowed to vote. What is wrong with y'all? Y'all just want to fuck up the world. Okay? Now, we also have that, we found out that some Boston residents are trying to stop proposal to let non-citizens vote. I agree. I hope everything works out for y'all. I have a question for you, though. Should non-citizens be allowed to vote? Leave your comment below. And just so you know, the left side, y'all racist as shit. Okay? Just to let you know. Alright? Now, we're going to continue on with the Tucker Carlson show. And thanks for tuning in. Oh, and a little FYI for you. Non-citizens in the San Francisco Bay, illegal immigrants are allowed to vote. I figure I'll let you simmer on that for a while you watch the show. Enjoy.
As recently as a few years ago, there were progressives who at least paid lip service to the idea of securing the border. Now that idea is dead, its grave has been bulldozed again and again. On the left, the new policy is to abolish ICE, border enforcement, make every city a sanctuary city, then give illegal immigrants welfare benefits and the right to vote. But don't worry, they're telling us, importing millions of new non-citizen voters isn't interfering in our elections. That's only what incompetent Russians do on Facebook. It's something better than that. It's the next frontier in civil rights. Ethan Berman is a California radio show host, and he joins us today. So, Ethan, this is a question I've been asking to a number of my progressive friends in the last 48 hours. Why is it wrong for non-citizens from Russia to play a role in our electoral process, but okay for non-citizens from other countries to play a role in our electoral process? Both seem wrong to me.
Totally separate issues. The Russians are actually attacking us, undermining not only the election systems themselves, but the integrity of our federal elections. What we're talking about in cities like San Francisco is allowing immigrants who are here, who have children enrolled in schools, who are paying taxes, to vote for the local school board where we need them to be participating and being active.
Wait a second. I mean, hold on. No, you don't know that. I mean, the Russians who hacked our election,
yes,
living here, some of them. I mean, you could have Russian agents living in the United States, and they have a vested interest in the government of the United States, and they're trying to affect the outcome of an election that determines who leads the United States. So by the standards that you just set out, that's cool. But somehow it's not cool because they're Russian or they don't vote Democrat? I mean, what is the difference? Honestly, I'm confused.
Yeah, the difference is pretty clear and significant. GRU intelligence officers operating out of a data center in Moscow, for example, or an office in Moscow, who are actively attacking the databases of our local and state elections, who are actually attempting to interfere with, for example, our command and control systems for our critical infrastructure, a la black energy malware. That is ultimately and fundamentally different than somebody who came here for a job that was brought here by an employer who have kids in school as required by law.
They're cool people. First of all, they weren't brought here by employers. That's not true, as you know. But hold on.
Sure,
I'm still confused. So the government of Mexico encourages people to come to the United States illegally and vote. They do. They say it out loud. That's okay with you because why? It's a foreign government that has different interests from those of the United States. It's hostile to the U.S. often, and they're seeking to influence our elections, but you're okay with that because why?
No, because on federal elections, that's against federal law to vote if you're not a citizen.
No, but
so what's happening?
I've never heard a single liberal complain about it.
Oh, well, I only want citizens to vote in federal elections per federal law. So in local issues, we have horrible participation by Americans, and this is evidence in the Portland State University study. So for like city councils and mayors, horrible turnout, and it's basically old, wealthy white people who show up to vote. So that's plantation-style politics that we're trying to encourage.
White
instead
people.
Of saying, let's get more people.
It really wouldn't be a conversation with a liberal unless they had some casual racism in there. Attacking a group of people on the basis of their skin color. Totally cool. We had a whole civil rights movement against it, but we're for it now. Right, I get that. Okay. No, I totally
get it. That's what the data show, Tucker.
But let me just... the data show that the left is casually racist in almost every conversation you have with them, and no one seems to notice except me. It's so weird. But whatever, let's just very quickly get back to the topic, which is the line between legitimate voting and illegitimate voting. A lot of us believe that citizenship conferred the right to choose your government. That's what democracy is. The left is now saying that's not true. People who are foreign national citizens of other countries get to control our government. Okay, but only when the outcome helps Democrats. That is literally the position of the Democratic Party. And I'm just saying that's totally indefensible on logical grounds. Not that logic matters in 2018, but I just want you to acknowledge that I'm right.
No, because federal law prohibits non-citizens from voting in a federal election. You can't vote for president or a congressperson or a senator if you're not a citizen.
So would you be cool with Russians hacking the school board? Would you be cool with Russians voting in a school board election?
If they are here and they have children enrolled in that school district, yes, of course.
That's not a requirement. That's not a requirement for the election, as you know. Yeah.
But we know the data again show that kids have a much better outcome in educational settings when the parents are involved, and if we can get better parent involvement.
Right.
In
Yeah. American
schools,
citizens.
the kids do better.
Okay.
Whether you end up rounding them up and shipping them back from where they came from, we want them to have better outcomes.
And that is the goal. Ethan Berman, great to see you.
Thanks, Tucker.
Well, one college professor wants America to shut down colleges. He says our universities are not worth saving because they are that corrupt. Jason Hill is a professor of philosophy at DePaul University, but if we follow his advice, he could soon be unemployed. He just published a remarkable piece in the Hill newspaper saying that universities, and he's worked in them for a long time, have become so overwhelmed by identity politics, socialism, anti-Americanism, and dumbness that essentially they're beyond saving. He suggests that taxpayers and private donors pull funding and let the whole system collapse for the betterment of the country. Professor Hill is also the author of the book We Have Overcome, which I have not read but plan to because his piece is literally that good and you should read it. He joins us now. Professor, thank you for coming on tonight. So did I misread what you wrote? You basically seem to have concluded, after years of working right in the middle of it, that the system is beyond saving.
I think so. I think these Bolshevik-loving welfare scholars have basically hijacked the system and are indoctrinating our students with not just anti-American invectives, but against the very core values that form a republic: capitalism, free speech, the morality of wealth creation. And I think that we're seeing a correlation also between the anti-free speech movements that have been accelerating across campuses and the ideologies that are taking root in the classrooms, the cultural relativism, the revolt against the Western canon, the cultivation of different perspectives. I think that we're not beyond repair. I think there's a solution. In my book, We Have Overcome, I go into some more details about how we can address this dilemma in the academy.
Well, within the confines of a cable news segment, sum it up for us. What do you think the solution is?
I think the solution basically is for the federal government to stop funding universities that are spewing anti-American invectives, indoctrinating our students who exist in these curated silos and who are not used to other perspectives outside of their own and who are supposed to be getting a critical education. I think it's also time for alumni donors to start withdrawing their funds, or if they're funding universities, to start affixing conditions to their funding. You'd be surprised at the extent to which alumni donors just give millions and millions of dollars with no strings attached, no conditions attached. Start saying, if I'm donating $10 million or $100,000, I need pro-American values taught. I need conservative values taught. I need values advocating not cultural Marxism and the values that are inimical to Americanism, but we need values and scholarship, proper scholarship that are rejoinders to the nonsense that's being taught on campuses today.
Professor, thank you for that. And again, I would encourage our viewers tonight to look you up, to look at what you've written and your book, because I thought it was remarkable and brave. So Godspeed.
Thank you.
So are you okay? Y'all college people okay up in there? I know this is a deep subject, you know. Your own professor said it is time to shut down universities. Free speech is dying on campus. Like, seriously, do you not know your ancestors, grandparents fought for this shit? And y'all just fucking it up? You know? You have all these leftist professors that are waging a war against America. Come on now, y'all need to stand up. You know? What's going on? Seriously. Are you okay? Y'all need those timeouts, you know, to think about shit? Come on now. Alright. Let's continue. Oh, this precious baby right here. You is just so pretty. Okay, so now we're going to talk about a sensitive subject, I believe. Now, what is going on with you parents out there? You know what? Let me put this baby down. I'm going to talk to you. Oh, yeah, I'm talking to you. I done put the baby down. It is time to vent it out. What is wrong with y'all parents out there? Huh? The fuck is wrong with y'all? Yeah, I'm talking to all y'all rich, uppity motherfuckers out there that want to be, you know, be known, be special. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Now with this me and my they baby? What? Are you serious? Parents want babies to be called they babies. No, bitch. It is boy or girl. Get it right. You are a woman, you are a man. So how you gonna fuck your child over like that? 0 to 4. Ages 0 to 4, they say let babies be babies. But babies get to choose their gender at the age of 4 years old. Get to decide whether they want to be a girl or a boy. I don't know what you thinking, but let me tell you, if I pitch out a boy, you are a fucking boy. Girl, you are a girl. And sometimes a bitch if you act wrong. Okay? Now, what is going on here? What the hell is going on? Are you serious? A man has a penis. A girl has a clitoris. So you fucking up these kids' heads now. When they get older, they don't know what the fuck's going on. You know what? Let me just roll this clip, and I know you're going to be pissed off just as much as I. Because I know Clark Tucker, he is just like fucking eyes on the back of his head. Like, seriously, let's roll the clip.
Having a baby used to be a straightforward proposition. You could have a boy or you could have a girl. But now there's a third option. It's called steep civilizational decline. A handful of parents across America are deliberately keeping their children's sex hidden and instead raising so-called babies. Having a baby used to be a straightforward proposition. You could have a boy or you could have a girl. But now there's a third option. It's called steep civilizational decline. A handful of parents across America are deliberately keeping their children's sex hidden and instead raising so-called babies. The idea is that only the children themselves should be able to decide whether they are boys or girls, without any of that pesky biological reality getting in the way. It's all very confusing, like a lot of 2018 is. So, of course, we called in our interpreter of all things progressive, our liberal Sherpa, Kathy Aru, founding publisher of Catalina Magazine. She joins us tonight. So, Kathy, goes without saying, you're for this, of course.
Yeah.
But doesn't this mean if you're going to raise a baby, how would you be able to change your child's diaper? Because the second you change the diaper, of course, you'd no longer be able to pretend that there was a question about whether this was a boy or a girl. You would know.
Well, it's not about pretending. The parent definitely knows the gender. It's about not necessarily labeling the baby. It's about allowing the baby to decide what gender that baby wants to be when that baby can decide, which is around 4 years old. So from 0 to 4, the baby will not be labeled. The labeling theory will not apply from 0 to 4 years old. The baby will be a baby, neither a boy nor a girl. Whatever gender that baby
Now, what other what other profound life decisions do we think people ought to be making at the age of 4? Are there any others?
Well,
Whether to get a tattoo, whether to get married, enlisting in the military, voting, drinking vodka, smoking Marlboro Reds. Is there anything else that we think 4-year-olds are ready to decide?
This isn't actually a profound life decision. I mean, biologically, there's nothing really going on from 0 to 4 in that area that affects the person's life. Biologically, the experts say that boys and girls, all genders are alike. The boy's brain, the male brain might be a little larger. The female's language might be a little bit more advanced.
Okay, no
maybe,
sexism on my show. Hold on, whoa, slow
Sorry,
down. No,
sorry.
here you're out there like
They say maybe
boys'
those
brains
things are
are
true.
larger, and I
Yeah.
just want to say that kind of toxic masculinity has no place in this program.
Sorry,
Thank you very much.
but that's all
But
they
no,
can
look,
think of.
the bottom
Yeah,
line is,
yeah.
all they can think of, like difference in brain size, difference in genitalia, difference in
Perhaps.
bone structure,
Perhaps.
just minor things like
Minor.
just minor things like that.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
they're not perhaps, like factually. So those are not minor things; those are definitive things.
Minor.
So, like, why would you not tell your kids about that? At some point they're going to drop trout and look down and say, "Wait, we look different." You're going to be like, "No, you don't. You're exactly the same."
And
That's lying, isn't it?
That's when the child, they say, is around 4 years old. So around 0 to 4, we're not going to say to a little female, a girl that you're a little princess, or boy, you're such a tiger. The labels are gone. You're not going to put that outside influence on a child. You're just going to be neutral. Everything's going to be neutral.
The outside influence of biological reality.
Not
So would you use with
reality,
anything else? Would you
perception.
but could we decide that we're not going to acknowledge temperature or weather or traffic? And you can just say, you know what? I don't think it's raining outside. Or you can decide whether it's raining outside. I mean, the weatherman says it is, that there's snow on the ground. Or the weather, you know what I mean? The weatherman says that it's 15 degrees out. But I'm going to, you know what I mean? Just kind of make up my own reality.
The parents who are really leading this
We acknowledge
movement.
biology and nature as real, right?
But the biology, the parents who came out with this, who came out in the New York Times and started this baby awareness, this gender neutral awareness for babies, basically said, why should people be so obsessed if your baby is going to be a boy or a girl? Who cares about that area? It's actually a little human. We are bringing a little human into the world. Who cares about the genitalia? Who cares?
May I just suggest why? And this isn't just my opinion, but the opinion of every person who's ever lived going back, let's just say 10,000 years for the sake of neatness. Because men and women are completely different in key ways. Can we
Babies?
not say that anymore?
Babies are different. Babies are different. They're little
they are.
human beings, and there's really not much of a difference between different genders. No. There is no difference. And men and women, we would say equal.
I'm trying to laugh so I don't cry. Kathy Aru, you can be equal but different, which they are. Great to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Alright, so I know y'all feel some type of way about that. I'm online looking up our celebrity of the day. But meanwhile, I'm going to talk to you. Yeah, how you feel about that? 0 to 4, they say just let them be babies. And then from 4 on, just dress them however way. And when they get older, they just trying to turn the whole world gay, if you ask me. And then have all the women fucking lesbians. And then have all these test tube babies running around every fucking where. Alright. And we have, here we go, our celebrity of the day is
Are you filming?
Roseanne Barr, back with her own talk show, where she discusses all that she learned after being fired for her racist tweet.
I thought the bitch was white! I thought the bitch was white!
Looks like she's really grown.
Roseanne addressing the Valerie Jarrett clip, and this time you kind of see her entire frustrations all get out in one video by screaming,
I thought the bitch was white! Oh my God.
It is a primal scream.
Yeah, she's gonna need a cigarette after that. There you go.
She's been actually at her son's studio all week working on her own talk show where she's going to have friends, family members, people who worked on the Roseannes show.
Really? They're going to go on?
She's sitting them down and interviewing them. They're going to talk everything from everyday life to world politics.
What about some fun pet tricks?
I'm trying to talk about Iran.
Okay, no tricks. Jeez. Why is she so unhinged?
Her son told us that this is just frustration built up not only from the incident as a whole, but just she's been putting a lot of hours in on this new show.
Well, where's she putting it?
They're putting it on her YouTube page.
A little different from her cooking with pot segments she's been doing. Okay, so are people seriously gonna watch this thing?
I think people are going to watch this thing. But there's a lot of people that feel like, you know, the Roseanne is a hero to a certain demographic. It's just the screwiest up time in my lifetime.
So screwdiest up, he can't remember English. So, see you on your new show, bro. Wait, what's the name?
I thought the bitch was white.
Catchy.
Alright, thank you, Roseanne Barr, and I will be watching. Alright, so thanks for tuning in, and as we always usually say, love, peace, and hair grease.